Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Coach's Corner. For those of you who are new to the group, welcome. And for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Coach Penny Hounsome. And together with Coach Lisa Bulston, we are the co-founders of Lux Life Coaching and Retreats. So for those of you who are new, I do my Coach's Corner on Fridays, and Lisa does her live on Wednesdays, and then they get posted. So this week, what I want to talk about is 5 tips to help you build a healthier self-image. When we look at our mindset and we look at how we view ourselves, it's usually a reflection of how we also view the world. So these are 5 tips that will help you make small changes over the course of time, because it took us a little bit of time to get to where we are when it comes to our self-image, our self-esteem, our self-love, all of those things. And you'll see from Thursday's post, there's a change and the difference between self-care and self-love, which is two very different things. So if you missed that Thursday's post, you might want to scroll back up into the mindset stuff and take a look at what those differences are. But what I want to do is add on to that. So adding on to that is helping you build a healthier self-image so that you understand how putting yourself first is a priority in your world in order to make the changes that you want to the lifestyle that you're looking to build. So the first one is really quite simple, is take it one small step at a time and start small. So this is one of the things that Coach Lisa and I talk about with our clients in our group settings and our one-to-one, is we want to just have those messy actions, like making a lifestyle change when it comes to your meal prep planning, all of that. It's not a diet. It's not like a one shot, I'm going to do it for a little bit of time. It's about making those shifts in your lifestyle and the mindset behind that, so that we can get out of diet mode and get into actually self-love and building a better self-image. So when we look at starting small and doing messy actions, it's a good quote. Coach Lisa has coined it, and it's like works brilliantly, really. So when you're doing that, it's not about being perfect. It's about just trying and then consistently over time making those small starts so that they add up. Because as we get older, we're going to get older anyway. So we may as well work towards what it is we want to see in our future and how we want to get there. Okay, the other tip is saying no to your inner critic. And I've done lots of videos on this. Had lots of conversations on how to shut down the negative Nancy, right? Like that little voice in the back of our head, not listening to our gut intuition. And we're sitting here like you think one thought, and the next thing you're like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, and seeing all the negative to that. So we want to look at, are we looking at things in a positive way with gratitude, or are we looking at the things with a toxic positivity? Okay, guys, I've talked about this a lot. We have a huge social media, as you guys know, it's full of toxic positivity and toxic gratitude. So you really want to get one with yourself and start developing the self-esteem that might be a really good start point for you to learning how to deal and replace that voice with the inner critic. So recognizing what the negative thoughts are coming up, journal them out. I know I talk about journaling all the time and everybody says the same thing. Oh, I don't need to journal. I will tell you flat out, the most successful people who go through their healing and manage their trauma and get rid of like the lasting effects, they all journal. I know you can talk till you're blue in the face, but at the end of the day, journaling is like pen to paper is very powerful. And you will see every single person that has managed and gone through their own trauma is all from the journaling. And you can do that in your journaling, is like shut down the inner critic. Name her. Mine's Nancy. It's negative Nancy back there. And we just like, you want to talk to that inner critic the same way you would talk to somebody who's being mean to you on the street. You got to shut it down. So just start saying a simple no. When you have those those subconscious thoughts, or those thoughts pop in your head, your first response is to go, nope, and then redirect, reframe what you're thinking in order to build a healthier self-image for yourself. Okay. The next tip you want to look at is taking a 2-minute self-appreciation break. This is a big one for a lot of women. Men do it too. It's like they do something great and then they're just like breeze right on through. It's like, oh, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. All of the things that you accomplish, big and small, are you working towards what your end goal is, and to be able to have the clarity to where you're going to go. Okay, so and this is a lot of stuff when you have a lot of trauma and you've got a lot of pent up anger and you've got all these things that are going on in your world. And it's like, and I get this from clients, like my one-to-one clients and the clients at least the coach Lisa has, and the people in our group. And so like, I can't see what the future is. I don't know where I'm going. I have no clarity. Okay. But if you stop and take a couple of minutes to appreciate what you do know, and then build on it from there, that's the difference. We want to reinforce all of the good. So what we're looking to do is give your brain that dopamine hit in a way that you don't need it from doom scrolling. You guys all know when you're on your phone and it's like, I'm going to spend the next 6 hours just scrolling through my phone. Okay, that gives you dopamine hit after dopamine hit after dopamine hit. But what it's not giving you is the self-esteem, because subconsciously we're seeing all these images of things that we have to like work up to, and that's not true. You just have to work up to being you, because you're perfect. We are all just perfect in our human form. That's it. However else we want to make that change, right? And this comes when we're looking at doing our affirmations or manifesting and everything else, is like your subconscious has to believe what you're saying. So when you're looking to make a change in your mindset, you have to come from a state of, this is where I'm at and I'm working towards doing this. Okay. Looking at the good aspects of who you are, looking at the things that have transpired, all of the small wins add up to big ones. So we want those, we want to have those, right? So what's going to do is to make that chemical change in the brain and change the synapses in our brain. So when we look at the science behind that, you're actually doing good things because you're making new connections. And when you're making new connections and you're looking at that from a different standpoint of like, oh yeah, look at what I did. Oh, I made a great dinner. Oh, I drank my water today. Oh, I went for a walk today. Oh, I was like, I finally understood what that affirmation meant. All of those little things, they add up. And if you overlook them and you don't take a few minutes to self-appreciate what you've been accomplishing, then it's very difficult to continue on in this journey. Because then what's going to happen is in your brain, you're like, well, what's the point of all this work? I haven't gotten anywhere. But in reality, when you look at your moods have changed, I eat better, my sleep is great, I feel better, I can breathe, like, like I talked to a person and they didn't trigger me, like I was able to control my emotions, I journaled, whatever it is, all those things, right? Whatever step that you're at, then appreciate that. And that helps you with your self-image, because you're going to turn around and go, wow, look how great I am. Right? Do you want so when you're looking in the mirror, it's more about, look how great I am. Not like, oh, I haven't done this and I haven't done that. We don't want that. Like, we're not saying that you're not doing it. You are, but don't focus on the things you haven't done. Focus on what you've actually accomplished. So that's your appreciation break. Okay. The next one we're looking at is the go for good enough, which means what we're trying to do is we're not putting ourselves down trying to strive for perfection, because what that does is kills your motivation. And then you end up in this overthinking state, which is from chronic stress, chronic behaviors, because overthinking is a choice. I know nobody likes to hear it, but it really is. So you can choose to just say no and just make a decision. Is it left or is it right? Good. And listen, if it turns out to be the wrong decision, who cares? Turn around and make the next one. We are women. We can change our mind anytime we want. That's the beauty of life. Is like, if you tried it, it didn't work, nobody cares. Move on. Edison, how many times did he try to like make a light bulb light up? Many, many, many times. Okay, so he knows like 99 ways how not to build a light bulb, and he knows one way to do it. Does it matter? No, because we all have lights. So it's all good. So we're striving for what we want is like good enough in this moment. Will we perfect it later? Maybe. Maybe we should let go of the thought of perfection, and we want to not look at what our shortcomings are and not dwell on that, but appreciate that we are looking towards our accomplishments and how we're moving forward. We are continually growing. We are continually looking at all of these things that make up who we are. When we start peeling the layers down and we're all a bunch of onions and it's like layer upon layer. And I've had this with my own trauma and my own experiences. It's like, you get to one level and you're like, woohoo, I'm there. And then like a month later, you're like, oh my God, that just opened the door for like 7 other things. That's okay. Because that opens the door and it allows you to build the resilience to what you need to go through in order to continue on in this journey of life, to really get to the root of and understand, like, of our problems and our trauma, and understand them, and then forgive ourselves for them and forgive the people that we feel that we want to blame. Okay, that's a tough one. I had to go through that myself a few months ago, having to like forgive family members for situations and things that happened to me as a child. Right? It's a very difficult thing. And then that opened the door of like having to forgive myself and the shame that's involved. Like, it's just one thing after another. And that's okay, because what you're going to notice is that you're moving through these portals and moving through all of these change faster, easier, and with more insight. And that's where we want to get to. And that's when we start looking at mind shifting and getting into that mental fitness, which is part of our programs. So when you're looking at that, it is really about the resilience. It's about how fast we're making those connections to connect the dots of like why we do what we do. Okay. So we're striving for good enough, which goes along with our messy actions. Okay. The other one is the last one. And this one's huge, is avoid falling into the comparison trap. You are not me. I am not you. You are not your neighbor. You're not your sister. You are not your cousin. Your cousin is not you. Your friend is not you. We all have different things that we hold on to. And we don't want to get into this comparison of like, well, this happened and that happened. Like, right? Like, no, it doesn't matter. In 20 years, it's not going to matter. My brother says this all the time. Whatever you're stressing out about, is it going to matter in 5 years, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 minutes? No, move on. I mean, it's pretty simplistic, like, look at life. I get it. But it's not wrong to a certain degree. But we want to look at, if we're holding on to things that are like, a comparison, to what end? And quite frankly, why do you if you're looking at someone else's life, you don't know all of the shitstorm that goes on behind the closed door, right? We say this all the time. The things in social media, they're not real. Even some of the better influencers will show you, this is what we see, this is what goes on behind the scenes. That's the reality, right? Like, this is who I am. No filter. The hair's kind of a mess. Although I washed it today, so that's like a bonus. Right? So I am. Do I wash my hair every day? No. Do I wash it like twice a week? Yes. Because it's just long and it's curly and it's thing and it's like, it just sits like this all day. Every day. You guys see me. I'm online. So when you're looking to better yourself, meet your goals, your goals are not somebody else's. There is no way to compare, like make the comparison, because how you got to where you are today is not the same way that the person beside you got there. And quite frankly, they're not going at the same end destination as you are. You're going your own. So it is imperative that you look at your own self and stop comparing. And that will help you develop a better self-image, because if we stop comparing and we do what we know is good enough, and we take the appreciation and we add in that time to celebrate the wins, the big and the small, we say no to our negative Nancy. I mean, I probably really should stop calling it Nancy, because I went to school with a Nancy and she's awesome. She's also in the group. Big shout out to Nancy Beaton. She's great. Sorry, I'm using your name for my critic. But moving on. And then we look at just one small thing at a time. There's going to be days where you have, you can make bigger steps, smaller steps. That's okay. Sometimes you're going to have weeks on end where it's just little steps, little steps, little steps, little steps. But you know what? Those little steps eventually add up to big ones. So guys, that's me for this week's Coach's Corner. If you have any questions, comments, you guys know what to do. Hit the love button, hit the like button below. If you have any questions, write it in the comments. If you've got something that you're working on and you're not sure how to move forward, you need to like book a call, please DM either Coach Lisa or myself, and we will get you in for our free Healthy Habits audit in order for you to get clarity on how you need to move forward. Okay, it's not a sales call. It's not about anything. It is just about helping you identify which habits are keeping you stuck and keeping you from losing weight permanently and also moving forward, right? So the other thing I wanted to announce is we have our special anniversary recipe book out. You guys know what to do if you share the information. There is, and I totally forgot to do this, so I apologize. We'll post the link in the features about how to copy and paste. If you're trying to copy and paste from your phone, I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know how to do that. But what you can do if you're only on your phone is invite people into our group. Okay, so that will count too. And then you're going to go in under the recipe bundle. Sorry, there's a little bug. Oh, got him. It's creeping me out. Underneath where it shows the post, you can write done, and we'll send you the recipe bundle. They're great recipes, by the way, like fabulous. I love them. The other thing we have is our scholarship going again this year. So find the link for that, for the anniversary, for the scholarship. Write in your forms. We're going to have everybody insert until the 21st, and then Lisa and I will go through all the scholarships and award a free scholarship to our Unstuck 90 program. And that will be a 6-month I think that's 6 months. I could be wrong, but I think it's right. That's how long the program goes for. And the other thing we have coming out very soon, I have some tweaks, back end things to do, is our membership. So our Unstuck Light. So if you're that person that's stuck and I need coaching, I need some help, but I think I can do it on my own. But I'm like, I can't afford like the big program, but I need the help. That's you. That's for you. This is the membership, and it runs at 6 months, but it's $240 a month for 6 months, but you get lifetime access. So it's an introductory offer in order to get lifetime access to all the teachings and trainings and coaching and everything else that we add into it as we go forward, because we will be adding, as we always do. Coach Lisa and I believe in giving more. So they'll always be adding more, and you guys will have lifetime access to that membership. So if you want more, have more questions, DM us, and we can talk to you about that. So guys, that is me for Friday, and I'll see you next week.